Okay, so let's see now. I think I might have some of this video stuff figured out. So we'll find out. We'll do a video, and then I've opened up a new YouTube account, Google account, and such. So, just kind of as an introduction, my name is Davidandersen. I live in Arizona, in Mesaarizona, in the valley, what we call the Valley of the Sun. I mean, I get a kick out of it. People are talking about how it's hot in Washington, D.C., and it's supposed to get up to 112 today. And for many, many years, that was my life. Matter of fact, I was working at Larry Miller Toyota in Glendale the day that it hit 121 degrees many, many years ago. And pretty hot. When I was young, I could deal with it. I think some time ago I had some form of heat exhaustion of some sort. Long story, I won't get into it. But I decided to put together a YouTube channel and to try and get some exposure for what I do right now in ceramics. I'm actually been a bricklayer for 40 years. I teach the bricklayer apprenticeship program for Stone Cold Masonry in Phoenix. An exceptional outfit, the best I've ever seen. Very professional, very cutting edge. Many of the techniques and the applications that they use, I often quip with the owner that he should somehow or another patent, or because he's pretty brilliant. So, along with being proactive and trying to teach his men to help them advance in their career. So the air conditioner just came on. Because like I said, it's 112 degrees. Going to be 112 degrees outside, and I'm inside, which means the air conditioning comes on a lot. So I don't know if that's going to affect the sound of my voice. I'm trying to speak louder because I've noticed that's been a problem for me when I do these. But right now I'm glazing. I'm finishing up glazing a sphere that I've been working on for quite a while. I've probably already have close to 60, 70 hours, probably closer to 70 hours in it, multiple days just in glazing. It requires, I put on 3 coats of glaze per square, and that's why I'm wearing these. I have a bit of a problem with tremors, and so that's part of why I have this bar here. That's part of why my paintbrushes are weighted. This is basically all thread nuts that I've got O-rings inside of, and a rubber band here to keep it from sliding, and got masking tape to just kind of keep it locked in. And then this is just a piece of brass pipe. I have a piece of O-ring in the back side, interior, and one interior here, and then 2 O-rings holding it into place. Gives me a weighted tool. I mean, if you look, I've got large hands, and sometimes these little things are difficult to control when you have a tremor. Granted, the tremor I have is rhythmic, so I'm able to work in such a way that I can follow the rhythm. But again, I have this, which this is on all thread, and it can be adjusted probably clear up to about right here, and then clear down to about, if I have it anywhere else, it's level with the table. And it gives me an armrest so I can work. Because when I do this glazing and I'm working here real close, I need to be right on top of it where I can see how it's interacting with the interior edges. The interior slots are all, I did that with the, words slipping my mind. What you use to give shots. I don't know why. It's kind of syringe. So I did all those with the syringe. Also, if you notice, I've got a lot of light. Use LEDs. Originally, I used to use incandescent, like all of us. It's kind of funny because I had to wear a sweatband for the incandescent because it would make you sweat. Then I went to fluorescent, and they were a little bit nicer, but they still generate a certain amount of heat. And plus, it takes a while to really come on. And now I'm using LEDs, and the power they use, they don't generate heat. But I do think I get a bit of a, I don't know if this could be possible, but I kind of feel like I get sunburned a little bit from it. So, having said all that, I've done multiple other videos on my other channel in preparation for this. So I think I've kind of figured it out. So I'll just show you how I glaze a little bit. It's not the tool I use, this is the one I use. To control this, you have to really be clear on what it is you're glazing. So I actually will take, I'm going to glaze this one, and this one, those three. I'm going to glaze these three right here. So what I'll do is I'll take my glaze and I'll make a dot underneath so I know which ones I'm presently working on. And over here I have cards that represent the run. The run is this length, these three. That's one run. It's a 3 square run. So I'm doing 3 square runs. And then I have cards that say 1 complete, when left. So I have this card sitting here. When I move it to the left of the stack, it means it's complete. I have 2 complete, 1 left, and I have 3 complete, 1 left. And that way I know exactly where I'm at. Because it's easy to, well, if I didn't do that, it could be possible that I put 4 coats on, 5 coats on, or forget where I was at. This way I kind of control it. However, definitely do go to the extent that if I start a run, I finish the run before I go anywhere else. I wear white gloves, partly because if there's any kind of residue that comes off, I want to know about it. Also, I sweat, and the oils from my hand could cause, at some level, possibly for the glaze not to stick. I mean, I just do so much work on these. I mean, literally, by the time this sphere is done, it'll have 2 firings. I mean, I've already explained how long it's taking to glaze it, let alone how long it took to carve it. I mean, we could possibly be looking at a good 3 to 4 weeks of work on this. So I take nothing for granted. I go to extremes in trying to make sure I have a good product. That's what's interesting about ceramics, is that anybody who's a ceramicist knows that you don't know what you get until you actually pull it out of the kiln. So there you go. I mean, to me, the day I look into the kiln is like it's like Christmas over and over and over. Just to further state a few things, I've been doing art since about 2004. I essentially formally left the trade of being a bricklayer, masonry foreman. In 2004, I've returned a few times. About a year ago, I finished helping run, being a superintendent on a $38 million job, senior living facility that I was able to work with a gentleman that I highly respect, considering a mentor of sorts, and so I couldn't pass up an opportunity like that. But I have definitely, I recall in one of my classes, a professor, when we were throwing, accused me of throwing before. I throwing pottery, throwing bowls and things of that nature. Because the first day that she taught, and then we proceeded to I threw a couple of vessels, and they looked awful. She said, she commented that I've done this before, and I said, no, I've never done this. But I think it's possible that she underestimated the fact that at that point, essentially, I've had my whole life my hands in concrete, mortar, which is a technique. And as she did her demo, it was almost like I think people that understand the concept of technique understand the importance of detail. And I think I was just completely zoned in when she was doing her demo. I was really listening to every little intricacy of how her fingers were being held. I understand the purpose of balance. I mean, my heavens, so many of the things we build in the field, the concept of balance is so profound, just in an element of safety. And so, let alone recognizing what's good and what's bad, recognizing lines and details. Come to find out, as my career progressed, I kept on doing what I consider to be gingerbread jobs that were masonry was really a showcase. So as far as I'm concerned, I've been in this world my whole life. So here we go. I'm going to do some glazing. If any other concepts come up, being that this is my first official video. So if you notice my hands shake, they're shaking. So I'm in an odd place when it comes to how I can position the sphere because of how it sits in the base. See, I have it on lazy scissor, so I can spin it. And the lazy scissors at an angle, which gives me more position to get to it. And so I've got to be able to see all four sides, the edges of all four sides. So it takes a while to do one square. And I essentially, on the first run, I frame it out. I frame out the square, make sure that I've got my glaze right up against the black glaze that I have in the joints. So this is going to be a red glaze. It's called hot tamale. So, see, this is giving me fits already because I'm just in that weird place. So I just turn it. So my trimmers might be a little bit worse right now because I'm videotaping. And knowing this is going out to the public, I might be a little bit stressed. My tremors are exacerbated by a certain amount by stress. I'm not much of a showman. But one thing I've learned, well, it's kind of like you say, you hide your candle that statement in the Bible. You need to let your light, you need to kind of hang it out there, let people know who you are and what you do. That's the only way you're going, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to sell my ceramics. I want to have a reputation for what I do. And of course, and sell them. However, I don't know that. One thing I struggle with in the art world is there's so many people that, in my opinion, in many ways give away their work. I don't give away my work. We're talking about something that doesn't matter who it is, that I'm creating. It's has my signature on it. And I'm creating it, and it'll go from generation to generation to generation. You know, we don't, I mean, look at what people dig up. It's all the pottery. Granted, who knows what they're going to dig up if our civilization ever goes away. But I think things of this nature are handed down. You know, every once in a while, I sit with a gentleman who's like well, I don't know what you'd call him, kind of a life coach, kind of an advisor, a mentor of sorts. I pay him $180 an hour, well, for 90 minutes, to sit down with him once in a while, just to get my point of reference, to get a different perspective. I trust his opinion, and that's his skill set. You know, and if I essentially, you know, so as far as I'm concerned, that's a good baseline for the price of my work. So it kind of limits my market. I kind of follow Seth Godin. It's perspective. There's a concept going on in the world right now, which is a race to the bottom. You know, everybody's looking for the cheapest price. You know, what will Walmart sell for? What will eBay sell for? What will Amazon sell for? But he talks about how to strive to be the best at what you do. You know, maybe you don't have 1 million followers, maybe you don't have 1 million customers like eBay or Walmart or Amazon, but you have 1,000, 100 loyal followers that love your work, that allow you to continue to do what it is you do. And so, and that's what I've always counted on, is those people who see the value and want something that's truly handmade, of which this is. This isn't slip cast, you know, like so many of the ceramic works are nowadays, are slip cast. This is hand built. I could do a whole lecture or a demo on the importance of hand building it as compared to slip casting. Oftentimes when I would do shows, people would say, "Oh, you need to quit messing around with this hand building. You need to slip cast it." Well, just because I wanted to understand their perspective, I tried slip casting, and I can't get the product that I get here. There's no way. But I could, like I said, I could do a whole lecture, along with the fact that my techniques are unique. They're more related to the construction industry. The way you finish concrete is the way I finish the face of a sphere. The way I use a rib tool is the same technique that I use in using a cement finishing trowel when I'm finishing concrete. So you don't finish cement, you finish concrete. Cement is a okay, I'm getting carried away. Cement is an item in the recipe that makes concrete. So that's me. Now you parse things out. And here I am parsing things out. So I've got this one framed out. So now I'll go to the next one. And I'll frame it out. Because once I have it framed out, once I have the piece framed out, it's really strange. Glaze, when you're painting it, is much like dirt mixed in water, and you're trying to paint that dirt on. Once you establish a path of the glaze, the next glaze goes on and just kind of stays within those boundaries of its common ingredient. And so the next coats go much quicker. Not a whole lot quicker, but much quicker. So if I overglaze in certain areas, I will literally and scrape it off. So, as you can see, this is a slow process. Primarily, I mean, I do other types of ceramics. I can throw, but primarily I love hand building, and primarily I do ceramic spheres. This has become my specialty. So I'm sure I'm kind of shaking a little bit more right now than I was earlier. And part of that has to do with I'm limited to a certain extent of the positioning of the sphere, partly because of this base. I might need to start standing up where I can squat down and kneel down and stand on my toes, and so I can gather all the different perspectives that I can get to make sure that I got the glaze applied correctly. So to me, the spheres I do, I kind of have a meditative quality to them. Matter of fact, before I'm done carving them, I put them on a lazy Susan. And I'll sit about 4 feet away, 6 feet away with a stick, a broom handle or something, and I'll push the lazy Susan so I can look at it. So I can, see if there's low areas or high areas, or it's out of balance or something of that nature. Just kind of sit with it. It's funny though that when I'm actually creating the substrate of the sphere, I can almost feel where the imbalances are. I've kind of joked with people that I could wear once I had the sphere created, I could essentially wear a blindfold and probably get a similar roundness as I do just by feeling it. Granted, that's once the sphere, the general shape of the sphere is established. But you can feel the low areas and the high areas, And there again, like I said, use the technique of a cement finisher. That rib tool is nothing more than a cement finishing trowel. It's kind of funny, and it's just like concrete. When you're finishing concrete, you use a bowl float, and oftentimes that bowl float, when you first put it down, granted now they're mag floats, but back in the day, a lot of times the bowl floats were wood. So when you initially put down, you're using a wood type of a trowel. And then, which is what you do with clay, use the wood one. And then when you start getting to the fine points of finishing it, you go to the metal, which is what I do. But the thing that's different is that I use it like a cement finishing trowel rather than a tool to just kind of move material around. See, one thing I was taught is when you do a sphere, you paddle it, you get the shape of the sphere, and you paddle the bumps out of it, and then you take a sure form, which is essentially a heavy grate sanding tool. I mean, I have one, but I don't use either of those techniques in my process. I think you can get more of a perfect product doing it this way. Don't misunderstand me. There ain't nothing perfect about these. Even though that's part of why I get accused of being of doing slip casts, because people have a hard time I'm talking about other ceramicists. They have a hard time believing that I did this. I hand built this piece, that I didn't slip cast. So I do get a kick out of it, though. I always wonder why they call it hand building, because essentially we're much like a sculptor. I mean, we build the difference being is that we build the substrate, whereas a lot of times, a lot of sculptures build the substrate, metal they're adding to. Call it metal building, or hand building with metal. They call it sculpting, metal sculpture. But it is a term that's used in ceramics. So I could go on and on. I won't. So let me finish putting this first coat on, then I'll shut the video off. See, once I get it framed out, the rest of the glazing goes much easier, and then the second coat even goes easier, because it has a, the material, the glaze that's down is common. So when I put the other glaze on, it almost like puddles, but it only puddles in the area that its common material is already established in place. So there we go. So now I've completed one coat. So I'll put it to the left, and I'll know that I need to do another. So okay, that's my video. Okay guys, I'll catch you later. Maybe I need to learn to not be so talkative. I need to get to the point and move on.